So Joe, another NACS show. Here we go again. How do you feel about this year's event in Las Vegas?
My feet already hurt. My feet hurts, I'm confused, but it's great. The buzz around the show is incredible. I always love the first day of NACS. It's really exciting, and you just see so many great faces.
Well, I think NACS tell me it's a very healthy show. Then again, we're in Las Vegas. It usually is here, isn't it?
That's
Everyone
right.
wants to come to Las Vegas.
Everybody wants to come to Vegas, so it's a great place to have a little bit of fun and hopefully a lot of work. People at NACS, what I find, and people that I talk to, are constantly looking for, what's new? What's the new best idea that's going to help their business grow? And sometimes that's maybe a product or maybe it's a piece of equipment, but it seems like the overarching things are really being built around technology. How's technology going to help my business? What are the disruptors doing? And what's that going to mean to me? What's happening in electric vehicles, and how's that going to impact my business? So, those are the things that people are just, focusing on in terms of the future and how that's going to have some sort of impact. But I wonder from you, since you're really connected to this industry in a pretty meaningful way, what are you hearing?
Well, I think, I agree with you. I think a lot of the CEOs and the boards are a bit overwhelmed by the amount of different disruptions that are on the table for them to think about. So I think there's a real challenge out there to adjust the business and plan for all the different disruptions. So it's not just EVs. It's looking at mobility in general and looking at driverless vehicles, because that's not that far down the road as far as the CEOs are concerned.
Right.
And food. Getting food right is the big thing. Everyone's focused on millennials. They're 40% of the C-store business here in the US. How do you get it right for them? I think that's, as ever, a big topic, but probably increasing sophistication of offer here in the US and elsewhere in terms of what retailers are doing.
And would you say around the rest of the world it's the same here? I mean, I think the competition for food on the go, not just in convenience, but convenient locations. So that could be some up-and-coming sandwich shop on High Street or Main Street USA or whatever it may be, but you just see so much competition and the offers being so elevated. Is that happening around the rest of the world as well?
Yeah, I mean, it's the same in London, as New York, in terms of some of these new guys appearing and, almost overnight getting the offer right, the proposition right. They've got no baggage. They've got, they're not afraid to make mistakes, to try something new. And they go in there and they got the latest technology, they get the offer absolutely right, and they get a core marketing message. I think they get that perhaps much more accurately than the industry always does, because they kind of can encapsulate what the millennials are looking for and just communicate that in a very simple way. And it's considerable competition, isn't it?
Yeah, I think you actually hit on something, because I think one thing this industry still hasn't done a good job is having that laser focus. So, and whether it works in a convenience store setting or not, but on the high street, you've got the hummus guy, you've got the Middle Eastern guy, you've got the Vietnamese guy, and the food is very specific and highly tailored around one single idea, one concept. Here, at least in the US, I think people are still trying to play around of, do I have a hot dog? Do I have a sandwich? Do I have a salad? Do I have different kinds of sandwich? They keep trying to expand the offer, and I almost wonder when the competition gets even more difficult with these guys who are really laser focused, are we going to be people who are famous for nothing, but we have this broad array of stuff, and is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? I don't know. And I don't know if millennials are looking for that. I think they want something that is very well suited to their needs and their tastes.
Technology is part of the solution, isn't it? Very much part. I mean, we were in New York over the last few days looking at some of the offers there, and interestingly, some of the businesses, half their business is coming in on pre-order, prepay, isn't it? And they've changed the whole store format. The shelving that they have for pickup is really dominating the store now, isn't it? So these businesses aren't staying still, are they?
No, they're not. We visited a company in Chicago. Now they're not a traditional convenience store as we would identify here at the show at NACS. They don't operate gas. They strictly operate in urban environments. They're out of Chicago. But they actually started off as a technology company, or I call them a technology company, but they created an app for online delivery. And then they realized that they really needed to have brick and mortar. But they do a very good job of combining online ordering, delivering, and brick and mortar into this really, really pretty nice concept. I mean, if they had gas, it'd be a pretty compelling, store offer. And so I do think a lot of these guys who aren't in this channel or have grown up in this channel are really being so much more focused on how they combine technology and offer and delivery and all those things. And delivery is another thing which I'd be interested to get your point of view on.
The bricks and mortar is where you shop.
Yes.
And the online, delivery is where the convenience is. And in these very sort of dense cities, delivery on electric scooter, which is what you find out in Shanghai, is the norm. The market's really changing over there, isn't it? And the convenience sector's got to be really careful that it doesn't lose that direct connection with the customer. We can't afford to not be as convenient as some of these operators.
So I see, and again, don't know how much of this is happening overseas, but domestically, you're starting to see people moving beyond testing and moving more aggressively into standalone convenience. So we know Wawa's, doing a very nice job in Philadelphia, and we've seen Sheetz. And last time NACS was in Atlanta, we got to see Quick Trip's freestanding location with their kitchen concept. So it's interesting to see how some of these companies, are they still playing and experimenting, or do you think they're really on to something by is there some point in the future where half their chain will be without gas and half their chain will be with gas? Is that?
Well, I think there's still retailers that are experimenting, and I think just looking at their numbers of stores that they have, the urban stores that they have, they're still quite small numbers.
Yes.
So they haven't cracked it yet. And then you have others, and I think Wawa is definitely there, and they're really rolling out numbers of urban stores, and from what I hear, these stores are busier than the stores with gas, so they've got it right. So I mean, it is achievable, isn't it?
And I guess to some degree that's their roots anyway, right? It's almost for them maybe going back to their roots, because they obviously started off without fuel. So maybe they understand that business model culturally a little bit better than other folks.
Do you try stuff when you're here, Joe? Do you pick up ideas at the show? I mean, what grabs you?
I try not to. No, actually I do. And I have actually my few favorites that every year I make sure I got to go find, because they're things I only see here. But no, I do. I mean, it's the way that, matter of fact, I've already seen a few things that have really captured my attention. So, when we're helping clients, sort of figure out a new food strategy or a new beverage strategy, this is where you're going to see innovation.
I mean, everyone's cooking food, aren't they? There's a lot of food. Isn't there a bigger food smell here than usual?
Food and beverage.
Yeah.
Every place you walk, there's food and beverage. I could eat and drink my way, from here to eternity. It's just amazing.
You can be sitting here in a car, and one of the big buzzwords here is frictionless, isn't it? It's pretty interesting what these guys are doing. They're working for a lot of the majors, aren't they? And they're the guys behind the technology, which is helping people like Shell offer frictionless commerce with buying fuel, and there's some interesting stuff going on.
Yeah, their platform, as they call it, is probably a little beyond my knowledge of technology, but you really get to understand how it all operates, and to be able to take friction out of the buying and purchasing decisions is totally incredible. And talking to the folks at General Motors, now you're even able to do it within the car itself. You don't even need your phone. That is just unbelievable. So this whole idea of reducing friction it's surrounding us, every place we look. Who would have thought that I could actually purchase things from my car without using a phone even? Being part of this industry now, when there is so much disruption going on, I think is a fun time, because none of us really know where it's all going to lead, but it's pretty fun being in boardrooms with some of our clients and sort of just talking through what we think some of these changes are going to affect our current business model. What do we need to do to future-proof some of the things that we're doing? It's a lot of activity, a lot of great minds trying to figure it all out. But that's retail, right? No matter what channel of retail you operate in, retail doesn't stand still. The day that you sit still is the day that you're probably dead.